the Galveston area, and you are getting blown around there, Mike.
Yeah, absolutely, Sharon. This is the worst we have seen so far. You know, we're in Houston, Texas right now. 5.5 million people bracing for the absolute worst, the worst weather they have seen maybe since Hurricane Alicia back in 1983. I'm going to walk you through step by step what's going to happen through the night tonight. We're going to really update you how this all plays out. The winds have actually been ridiculous here in the last hour or so. Almost hard to stand, almost knocks you right off your feet here. So basically what we're dealing with right now in Clear Lake, which is the southeastern suburb of Houston, is the northern part of the eye wall right now. What that means is we're obviously getting some of the highest winds that we have seen so far. Power is out just about every single place that you look. But I show you behind me here, part of our hotel, part of it is ripped off. Debris is now down on the floor. One thing I'm also noticing is that basically the ceiling of the outside walkway here is starting to breathe and give a little bit. It goes about maybe 3 feet up and 3 feet down, so I think that that's going to give way. And now we've got so much surge here where we are off of Nassau Bay is that we're getting water that's coming in the lowest level of the hotel now. We've still got power, we've got generator power at this hotel, but now starting to take on some water because of that surge. We had some very strong winds that have come in easterly across Galveston Bay. What's that done? It's pushed all the water into the western side of the bay. And so we're going to get tremendous amounts of flooding and surge problems western side of the bay. We've got some heavily populated areas there. So we're talking locations like Texas City where we've got huge refineries. We've got a flood wall there. But if that goes over top of that, it's going to be a big concern there. Let's talk about Galveston, because Galveston is really taking the hardest punch from Hurricane Ike. Western portions of Galveston Island, basically we're getting reports now underwater. In Galveston Hospital now, we're getting reports that the first floor of Galveston Hospital is taking on water at this point. That is not a good scenario because we know that we've got that seawall, and that seawall at this point appears to be being overtopped. So we've got water and waves coming over that seawall, and it appears at this point that the Galveston Hospital is taking on water. Obviously that is not something that we like to hear, but we're taking on water in I think so many neighborhoods, especially on Galveston Bay as you work toward the Bolivar Peninsula. That is an area that is really going to be hit very hard. We've already had several reports of some serious flooding that is taking place there. At this point, it's ramping up, and it's ramping up very, very quickly. Once we can get through this first eye wall, we're going to see the eye, we think, come right over top of us. As we do, then we're going to see our conditions calm down, because the center, that eye, is really the epicenter of it, and that's where it's going to be calm, and then we're going to have that next eye wall come through for us. What that means is it won't be over just yet, and then through the early morning hours, that's when it comes through. And they get taking a look at just the 3 dimensions of this system. You get some of these huge thunderstorms that build within a hurricane, and that's where you tend to get some of your strongest winds with that convection. You get some of that on the outer bands as well, and that's where you can really do some damage even on those outer bands. When you get that strong convection, what you end up getting is the possibility of tornadoes, and we've still got tornado watch in effect across Louisiana and across Texas. And for Houston itself, we've got that tornado watch that goes until 10 o'clock in the morning. That may even be extended in the morning. So we're talking 4 different threats from Hurricane Ike. We're talking wind, we're talking surge, we're talking flooding rain, and tornadoes. So this really is a disastrous event that is taking place right now, and we haven't had these kind of conditions since we got here in Houston. I've got my anemometer with me trying to measure some of the winds. Winds right now at about 52 miles an hour. Strongest measured wind I've had here has been 69, so we're getting closer and closer to the hurricane strength winds. Very, very impressive, no question about that.
We have been in this eye wall for several hours, and it looked like this thing was starting to really come together as it was coming on shore, and that has caused a lot of problems where we are on Galveston Island. As I mentioned to Mike, earlier. When you see palm trees go down, you know it's bad. I mean, they build palm trees in Florida along the coast because they can usually withstand the winds. We are right now in a parking garage. That's where we're located because we were concerned about the surge. We're on about the third